So, you can determine a lot by having conversations with people because you can hear once you learn to discern and you've really asked for the gift of discernment to manifest itself within you, you can find very quickly in that discernment how much yucca flesh and ruach hakodesh is in a person. So that's pretty much what I want to just have everybody kind of do a quick share on this morning before I buzz over to Midas. And I've got to leave in about 10 minutes, so I'm really getting it down to the wire here. Um, so go ahead and just add to what I've said. If it's pricked your heart a little bit and it ministered to you on the subject of intimacy and how well you can stay in prayer focus, then go for it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I, this morning, all night I was listening to the conference calls. I went to sleep and I woke up, put it back on, and it was Prince David on there. And as I was listening to it, I was thinking, well, why isn't he letting us share? There was a yucca flesh firing up. But as I kept on listening to it, the IMs became real for me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give myself a 4. Um, I am I'm doing a good job. I can always do better. I'm not walking on water yet. Um, but I'm seeing how this codependency has manifests and it drives me and it runs me. It ran me to a meeting this morning because I wanted to, uh, you know, uh, I wanted to be seen if I really take a self-examination and really um, try to share this life wave with people. Um, but in the car, I had it on the Prince David, and so I'm doing the IMs as I'm doing it. So I am gonna uh, say good job, well done, and but I have a lot of relationships because I'm trying to build and cultivate these different relationships, but I forget to put first things first, which is my vertical relationship. Um, when I do that and I get my yucca flesh out of the way, um, it becomes a real reality. Like my eyes are open to like everything's gonna be okay. If I just start my day doing this deep prayer, um, and 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 then just continuing to follow and stay on the straight and narrow with this, and then all things will be added unto me, my spirit, and you know, so yeah, you know, I have a lot of work to do, but I do feel that I'm pointing in the correct direction, which is up, so that I can then uh, it can overflow uh, sideways and down deep into me. But I do. I also I have to go. I have to pick up Daniel. I'm taking him to a meeting because I committed to that, and then taking him to see his thing. And then Rock, I'll send you a text if you could look at your text because we have an appointment with Ben. But other than that, hey, I love Yahweh. I love myself, and I do love you guys. With that, I'll pass.
Well, hallelujah. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. And it is a good morning because we begin it with Yah. And wow, I'm remembering going on a mission trip with a busload of people to New Orleans. And remembering that prayer was always the beginning before we would go out to evangelize. We group together and pray and get our day started. And I've learned the importance of it. It isn't just morning prayer. It's all day walking with our Messiah, walking with Yeshua, and letting the Ruach be our guide, because it is the Ruach's job to spread Yah's love abroad. And I am a vessel of honor to be able to do that. And I remember I'm so many times in my life I did things that to my mind didn't make any sense, but it always proved out to be the Ruach guiding me. So this day I was evangelizing with a young, strong male who was in our, growing in the Ruach, and we're walking in, and I sensed on the corner there was just this great big building, and it didn't have windows, but right on that corner, nobody around. I was supposed to read the book of John. I got that. So I told the young man, we're going to stop here, and there's something for us to do. And, he kind of looked at me funny, because the idea was we were out there to evangelize, and I'm going to read the book of John at a corner where nobody's there. Well, I walked with Yah, and I know there's a reason. So I'm getting into the book of John, and Greyhound bus, but on the other side of that building, where you could see the Greyhound bus turn in, because the building was like square. So he turned the way to get in the building pulled up, and the bus, and then another bus, and I think there were 3 buses went in there. And, I stopped and we looked for a little bit, and then the Ruach says, read. So I get back to reading, and here comes all these people going by, and I'm reading the book of John. Well, it just so happened at some point there was one of them, just one, that stopped and started to communicate with us. And we found out that there was a need he had, and he was a believer, but he was in a situation where he needed to be, I think it was Jackson he needed to get to, and we prayed together. We went somewhere, and we was able to find a way for him to get to Jackson. Yeah, I was able. So I'm like, guys, yeah, so much fun. That was so much fun to meet that person and meet that need. Now, there are other times, I've met people and they vomited on my pants or on my lap or something, In other words, still the exploits, that's an excellent word, that he sends us an exploit. But he doesn't send us alone. He's got that Ruach in us. And that Ruach's gonna get us where we belong. And believe me, we can't have a better partner. And so I just want to say, my brothers and sisters, I love you, and walk with the Ruach, and know that Yeshua is Yeshua. And he will cause great exploits to be a pleasure and to work out with trembling and fear the issues of life for not just ourselves, because we're not called to be islands. We're called to be a help to one another too, but not without him, because we can't bust a grape, if anybody remembers that old saying. And with Yeshua, he says, and he means it, that we can do all things. So go forth with joy and walk with your Messiah. I'll pass.
can't hide from this love that is the Father's arm, His arm. Don't you know you belong, you belong, you belong. Don't you know you belong? You need to know you belong. You belong to Him. It starts with our hearts. Our Oh, it starts with the heart. Oh, it starts. The Father longs for you. He longs for you. He wants to hold you. He knows you by name. He knows what you are. He knows you. He longs to hold you. To hold you. To hold you. And there's nothing you can do to separate that love, that love. He's always just waiting. He's always waiting for you to come home. So 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 come home.
This session is no longer being recorded. Goodbye.